Okay, another comment or question. Help me visualize this. I'm the farmer.
Yeah.
I've been doing it the same way for 100 years. I'm just envisioning them saying something like, "What are you saying? I'll use robots to save labor?" Like, what are you selling me exactly, Max? Are you selling me a machine? Are you selling me information? What am I buying
Yeah,
physically?
it's a machine.
Can
It's
you
a
show?
machine
Can you
and
show me? Can you show us?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me pull up some renderings. One of them is this is a model. I mean, this one of the first seating machines is right behind me, but I'll
Okay,
I'll show
okay.
you some renders because it's probably hard to look at.
It's called a seeding machine. What's the name of it? You got a name for
Tabletop seater. I don't know. We're not
it?
like giving them names, but
You're an
you see
engineer,
this?
right? Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, I am an engineer. Yes.
Did you design it?
Um,
Or are you one of the head lead designers?
no, these days I'm more in the spreadsheets and on the sales side of things.
I
But I mean,
understand.
I help conceptualize things, and the guys do all the work.
This is cool. All right. This is cool. Now, you got patents on this and everything. You got it protected?
We're working on it. Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna do provisionals in the next couple of months.
What does this
Um,
do for me that my current machine doesn't do, Max? Sell me.
so most people that I'm talking to, just for context, they're taking a cup of seeds. They're taking a cup, putting it in their bag of seeds, and then they're just sprinkling them like this. And this specifically for microgreens, right? Other
Okay.
farmers are doing it obviously a different way, but
Okay.
microgreen
Okay.
seeder, they're just going like this. And what this is going to do for you is that the seed distribution is perfect every time. You can hand this off to an untrained employee. All they need to do is press a few buttons, and then they can do this perfectly every time. They're going to do it 5 times faster than they could have ever done it. And a lot of the folks we talk to, they don't trust their employees to do this. They end up, the CEO is basically shaking these seeds out because they've been doing it for 5 years and they're better than anyone else. And they're worried, if the seeds are too dense in this area, there's not enough seeds over here,
Yeah.
their yields
Yep.
are going to suffer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so this machine just makes it perfect every time, and it's a lot faster than you could ever do it by hand.
Is it like a little conveyor belt, basically? It
Yeah,
looks like it.
exactly. So we've from the other angle, you can see you put the tray in over here. You can see my
Okay.
mouse, right?
Yep. I
Yep.
can see it. Mm-hmm.
And then the tray comes out over here.
I see.
And
Okay.
I'd say in like 3 or 4 days we'll have a video. So
Can you
yeah,
can
we're just
you
finishing up the unit here.
can you give me a humanoid robot that puts the tray on one side and takes the tray off the other, so I don't have to have a human doing that too?
Yeah, eventually.
I
It's not cost effective right now.
understand. Well, I didn't I see you could buy one for 16 grand. I saw that. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole there. What else are you selling besides this? Is this your core item right now?
Yeah, so this is the core product for the cedar, and then these are the rollers that come with it. So different seed sizes, are going to call
Oh,
for different rollers, so you could swap those
okay.
out. It's
Okay.
flexible in that way. And then I'm going to skip through this one. So this is our harvester, and so this one is a bandsaw. You push you put your tray right here, you push it through. It's like a push block, and then the greens just fall down. And I could pull up a video if you want. It's kind of
Yeah, go for it.
satisfying
Yeah,
to look at.
go for it.
And then
Yeah.
and then this system can be upgraded. You can add a conveyor belt to it on the exact same frame. So let me just pull up my video here.
The While you're doing that, the financing, the overall fee includes the machine, the implementation, the setup, and then if it breaks down, do you come back out and repair it for me and all that?
Yeah, we can. And the warranty is just going to cover parts. So, for us to come out and fix it,
Okay.
we would charge for that. But we do strive to build all of these machines in a way that the farmer can fix them themselves. And that's really something that a lot of the farmers we talk to value that a ton because
Oh yeah.
if the
Yep.
machine goes out and they got to wait like 3 days for us to come out there,
Yeah. Yeah. No.
that's
Mm-mm.
that's not going to work. They're going to get backed up.
Especially during the planting rotation or whatever. Like they gotta.
Yeah, exactly. So these are some microgreens that are getting cut by that bandsaw harvester.
Okay. Okay.
And we put the whole machine on an angle so that the product just tumbles down, goes into a little basket. And this is kind of the base model. And this is the idea that we have for all of our machines is that we're going to have a lower cost base model where if you're not a facility with a ton of production, you're not going to want the top of the line machine that's 50, 100 grand. You
Okay.
want something that's more affordable. And then if you do eventually scale up, you can upgrade it. You can throw a conveyor belt on there.
I
Does
see.
that make sense?
Yep, it does. Um, okay, very good. I have some questions here. For the listeners, microgreens, what are they planting? What is it they're planting? Yeah.
So there's probably I mean, I think the most varieties I've ever heard from the farmers we've talked to is 40 different varieties. But the ones that we've grown a lot of is, let's say, arugula, broccoli, cabbage, um,
Okay.
radishes, sunflowers, peas, corn shoots I've heard of as well.
Okay.
Then there's kind of more fancy things like shiso and um, yeah, just things that a really high-end restaurant, like a Michelin star quality restaurant, they're going to want to put that on there as a garnish, things like that, things that
Okay.
most
Okay.
people haven't heard of.
And those things that you just said are being grown are most, and I don't know, I should know this. This is going to sound ignorant. Are most of those things you just mentioned grown indoors across the country now? When we say indoors, we mean greenhouse too. Are most of
Sure.
those grown in greenhouses now, or are those, or any of those outdoor crops? I have no idea.
It's almost exclusively indoors, including
Okay,
greenhouses. Yeah.
I got you. Okay, good. So back to your original point is you're not trying to compete with massive outdoor farmers with millions of acres.
No.
Yeah, got you. All right, very good.
Yeah, we're
Who?
not competing with any of those giants like John Deere or anything like that.
Yep, yep. Why would John Smith say no? Why would he say no? What pushback are you getting?
I would say for some of the smaller operations, their ROI is just not going to be there. Let's say, you know,
I
we're
see.
saying our ROI is 12 months, but he's saying, well, I only operate 6 months of the year and I'm the only employee. So I'm not
Okay.
really saving on labor costs and it's going to take me 2 years because I only operate half the year.
All
So,
right.
I think the scale is the biggest thing. If you're not doing enough volume, then there's not as much labor being saved and there's not as much yield being earned. So
How big does my farm have to be? What kind of revenue do I need to be doing before I should call Max?
I'd say the low, and I'll say this in a unit that is going to be more familiar to the farmers, but it's not necessarily
Okay.
as easy to understand. But the farmers grow in these 10 by 20 trays, 10 inches by
Yep.
20 inches. And
Hmm.
if you're doing about 250 of those a week, that's kind of the scale that I think we start to make sense. Below that, it's a little more questionable, but it just depends on the cost of your labor. We talked to some folks in Brazil after you do the conversion they're paying like $3 an hour. So it's going to be tough to make sense down there. But in some of the places up here that we talk to people, they're paying as much as 25 an hour. And at that point, 150 trays a week starts to make sense. And so it's really a question of ROI for most of these people. And that's what it
How do
comes down
these
to.
how are these US indoor farmers that are growing this stuff even competing with this shit brought in from Brazil or whatever? How are they even competing?
It goes bad in just a couple of days, and so
Okay.
there isn't anything at least within this categories. There really isn't anything being shipped from Brazil. There's a big grower in California, and they ship across the country. But a lot of the smaller guys we've talked to, they say they compete with those guys because the chefs, they
I
want a
see.
much more fresh product, and so even if it's coming from 3 days ago from California, it's still not nearly as good as the stuff that the guy next door can grow.